In this video, I'm going to cover choosing images, and particularly choosing high-quality images. We're going to start off in Google, even though I don't think Google Images is the best place to use images, and I'll explain a little bit further as we go along. But first, let's start out simple, and we'll choose something interesting to import or to download. So I'm going to choose a pineapple because it's a mixture of detail as well as simplicity. Now, here's one pineapple. It's a decent one. It has a simple background. And this is actually a very good image. The reason why I can tell is if I look down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that this is 1,500 by 1,500. That is how many pixels this comprises. So this is actually a really large image. What we want is we want images that are over 1,000. So 1,500 by 1,500 is pretty good, even though a lot of this is just negative white space. But we'll save this one, or see if we can save this one. The ways that we can do that is by right-clicking on it and coming down to Save Image As, and we can save the image. It'll bring up a little window. It'll give it, usually it's random like picture name, and you can rename it, and ask you where you want to put it. Let's put it on the desktop. So now I have this pineapple, which looks pretty good. But I'm going to choose another pineapple. We're going to look around, and I'm going to see if I can't find a bad image of a pineapple. Some of these are really good, some of these are really large, some are very small. Luckily, we're finding a lot of large images. But this one here, that's actually a fake pineapple, is a small image. And the way that I know that is in the bottom left-hand corner, we can see that this is 509 pixels by 679. So it's kind of tiny. So I'm going to pull this one off. And instead of doing the right-click and save as, I can also just click and drag, and that'll put it on the desktop. We want to be careful of doing this and looking at our images because what we want is an actual picture. So a .jpeg, a .tiff, or a .png are acceptable things that we can use. Sometimes on Google searches, they will be copyrighted and they will come up as a web page and you won't actually be getting the picture because they have blocked it. So that's why I would say don't use Google because one, it's hard to gauge what the size is going to be, even though we found some cool images, and two, some of the things are blocked. And we want to use free stuff so that we're not plagiarizing. So let's go over to my Photoshop file, and you can see what I mean by small and large images. So first of all, let's add our small image. So here's our small image, and we can see that it's very blurry, even when we just start to zoom in just a little bit. And if we resize this image, you can see that it stays very blurry. So that's not really good if we need something that we want to work with. So we're going to add our large image. And you can see as I zoom in, this has a whole lot of detail, even up to getting really close. This is about the blurriness that the last one had. So it's a lot larger image. And so if I wanted only, part of this pineapple in my scene, say something like that, and I still want it to be sharp detail, that's pretty good. So that's why we want an image that is over 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels, depending on how much zooming you need to do. If you just need to have something small in the background or something that's not important, it's okay to have something that's less high quality, something that's below 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels, but it's not always ideal depending on where your viewers look. And I like to look at the entire scene. So where I would prefer you to go get your images is to go to specific websites that have copyright-free images. The reason why I want you to go to something like that is because usually artists submit high-quality images, artistic high-quality images to there, and you can download them at a variety of different sizes. And they work very much like Google, where you can punch in exactly what it is that you want to look for. On my website, I have put together a page in the helpful links area. You can see down here in the helpful links, I put a copyright-free link. And that'll take you to this that has a couple of different links. Depending on whether you want a PNG, which has a transparent background, or one that's a full picture, click on the variety of links. Unsplash is a pretty good one. And let's put in pineapple here. We can see a lot of the images that were on the Google search are actually right here. And these are all high quality images. They're not saying specifically what sizes they are, because they already know that you came here for a high quality image. So you just have to choose one of them. I'm going to choose this one. And it shows me what it is. And then in the top right corner, it'll have the download for free button. And you can choose what size it wants. So if you want a small one, you can get one that's 600 by 40 by 959. A medium one, that's 1920 by 2880, or a large one. I probably wouldn't get super large ones. Even the original size one is very large, unless you really needed to make this a very big picture and you need a tiny detail, like if you were going to turn the pineapple into a landscape. But for funsies, let's pull that one. And you can donate to these sites or share their work if you want to give them credit, which is something that you'll do when you're a professional artist. But right now, as a student, don't worry about that so much. After we get there, you're going to want to find your downloads folder. For me, my downloads folder is down at the bottom here, and you can see those are my last things, and you'll see my pineapple is located in there. Another way that we can find the downloads is we can find the search engine, which is in the little is in the top right for Macs, and in PCs and Chromebooks, it's usually in the bottom left, I want to say. They might have moved it. But if you type in downloads, give it a second to load up, you can find the downloads folder. And so I'm going to open that up, find my pineapple, move it to my desktop, and now I can load that up to Photoshop. I'm going to hide this other layer that I have. And now let's put in our new pineapple, which is massive. It doesn't look like it right now, but that's because we haven't made it larger. And I'm going to make this a gigantic pineapple. I have to zoom out because it's so big. But now it's huge. I can use this, like maybe it's the landscape that I want to put some people walking on. And you can see that this has amazing detail. And even when we zoom in and look close, it still has amazing detail. So that's why I want you to use copyright-free websites. So get used to looking there first before you break down and decide to look at Google. And even before I look at Google, I would probably just take a picture and then upload it to the computer myself. So just to summarize, try to find good images that have pixel ratios over 1,000 by 1,000. Go to copyright-free websites first so that you're not playing the struggling game of finding things that have watermarks or things that are copyrighted and blocked for you to download, things that people actually want you to use to make into beautiful art. And then put them in your artworks.